Well, let's take a look at what is happening in the markets, and we start off with the JSE. And the local bourse is sinking deeper into red territory today after a relatively flat finish yesterday. Of course, the narrative out there is that the Chinese stimulus train has lost steam. So we are seeing a sea of red on that front, with the all share with a loss there just shy of 1%. That largely coming from the resources. The 10 complex is seeing them extending those losses that we had seen yesterday, slumping almost 2.5%. Industrial 25, they're shedding more than 1%. Financial 15 trading relatively flat, just 0.03% below that flat line. Let's take a look at what is happening with the market stateside, and quite a few things that the markets are waiting in anticipation for there, including tomorrow, the Fed minutes that are coming out in the evening from the Fed's September meeting. Of course, we know that that was the last meeting in which the Fed implemented a 50 basis point hike there on interest rates. And of course, we are waiting for U.S. inflation coming out on Thursday. A sea of green on that front. The S&P 500 with a gain of almost 0.75%. The tech-heavy Nasdaq climbing 1.15%, and the Dow up by almost a similar margin. Let's take a look at what is happening in the European markets. And on that front, one of the economic data points that investors are awaiting is the GDP data out of the UK that is coming out on a Friday. But ahead of that, we are seeing the negative sentiment filtering through to those markets across the Atlantic. FTSE 100 declining almost 1.5%. The CAC 40 shedding almost 0.75%, and the DAX down almost 0.1%. Let's take a look at what is happening on the currency scene, and we start off with how the rand is doing against some of the major currencies. More weakness coming through to the rand, almost by 1.5% against the US dollar. That currency now standing at 17 rand 57 against the dollar, against the pound at 23 rand, and against the euro at 19 rand 27. Let's take a look at how the other currency pairs are doing, starting off with the euro dollar at 1.09. Pound dollar at 1.3, and the yen just above 148 against the US dollar.